Hey guys, so today I wanted to take the opportunity to introduce you to what I would now call a friend, even though he's also part of our supply chain, Fred. So thank you for coming in today, Fred, and thank you for
Yeah, thank
also
you.
being willing to have a chat about some of these topics and questions. One, you've got amazing dad jokes, but I want to see what your music taste is like. If you had to pick up a walk-up song for
Ooh.
a pitch, what would your favorite walk-up song be, or what would you choose to
I don't
walk in your
know.
room?
Gosh, I'd have to think about that one. Um, I don't know. It would probably have a lot of guitar squeals and crash cymbals and I don't know.
So would Eye of the Tiger make the shortlist?
That would probably make the short list. Yeah.
What do you think is the best piece of professional advice that you've ever received?
So this is going to sound a little odd, but I'm going to count it as professional advice. It actually comes from a show that I watched when I was much younger in school. It was Transformers, and it comes from Optimus Prime. And he now I'm stretching this a little to business, but he said, never give a command that you are not willing or able to follow yourself.
Incredible. That's
And in one of my previous jobs, I was responsible for training a team of technicians. And sometimes we would have competitions, skill-based competitions, to put their skills to use and make sure they're keeping tip-top. I'd always offer a prize for second place because I would always get first. And my guys got sick of it one day and said, well, what if we get first? I said, well, I'll double the prize. And that was actually, thinking about that quote I just gave, that was actually the way that my manager ran things as well.
yeah.
So he always ensured that he could help his team to overcome any challenge. And therefore, you needed to keep your skills sharp as a manager. And so, we would actively participate in the job to make sure that that we could always assist.
So keeping on the personal track, what are three words that you think your friends would use to describe you?
Three words my friends would use to describe me. Ooh, that can get
And
dangerous.
corporately or politically correct. I'd say humorous for
No.
one, if I can count myself as friend.
Yeah, no, okay. We'll go with humorous because I do try to keep things light, keep things happy. I've always said a happy workplace is a good workplace, and if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. So I think humorous would be good. I would hope to be described as helpful and optimistic as well.
What was it? So that was humorous, helpful, and optimistic. So I love it. Great values or great things to live by. Can you tell me a bit about your technical background and how you got into sales or pre-sales? I find it quite interesting talking to NETGEAR, because a lot of people, especially in the technical industry, they talk about pre-sales engineer, whereas NETGEAR still calls you a sales engineer. Do you have any thoughts on that as well, while sharing your technical background, a bit of your experience?
So how I got into this and a little bit about my technical background. I started professional life as an IT technician. Just fresh out of high school, there was a local shop, and the guy there was fond of hiring people that didn't know what they were doing. But it was an excellent opportunity, and I'll be forever grateful that he was willing to take a chance on me, because at the time we would get people walking in weekly saying, I just finished my certifications and I'm looking for a job, and I was the one behind the counter, so I'll be forever grateful for that. From there, so I learned a lot about computers, computer systems, building them. That's been a lifelong passion as well. And then I've also worked as an alarm technician, installing residential alarm systems, and that took me a few places around the country, which was kind of nice too. But there I learned about low voltage wiring and those kinds of systems. I've also worked for other manufacturers. So I worked for a manufacturer of many different IT items, ranging from desktops to printers to servers and storage, networking, and had to provide pre-sales. And this is where we'll talk a little bit about pre-sales versus sales engineer. In a lot of those positions, it was just simply pre-sales consultant or pre-sales questions is what I was answering, and they didn't really consider us an engineer of any kind. In fact, around that office, it was usually a solutions architect was the technical role. Partially because you had so many different things that you had to put together for the solution. And I really enjoyed that because that position, because I was able to learn more about, some of these higher end business systems that I didn't deal with as a small time IT tech. I was able to learn about virtualization and how servers and storage play together. The difference between fiber channel and networking Ethernet fiber, a direct attached storage versus a network attached storage. So it was a really good way to learn a lot about a lot of different things. And I also spent some time with a software company where I realized I'll never escape IT, and so I needed to commit all the way. And so, that's what led me into NETGEAR, was actually looking to go back to school and get some certifications, try to get back in the game, and that led me to NETGEAR. And I liked it so much that once I got my A plus and my Network plus, I was working on my Security plus, but life got in the way, and I thought, well, I'll put that on the back burner for now. And I just kind of put all my eggs in the NETGEAR basket and tried to learn as much as I could from the sales calls I was on with our engineers. And how I really got into pre-sales was I became a product specialist for our Insight platform. And I was just supposed to be a sales specialist, but I was doing so many demonstrations of it and learning the platform so well that it just led into more and more technical conversations and applications and trainings. And then it was just I was doing the work of one of our sales engineers anyway, so I got to be part of the team.
And so that leads into, I think you just spoke about Insight being somewhere that you spent a bit of time in the organization, but is there any other particular key areas you would say that you have an affinity with or spent time in, or is Insight your bread and butter?
Well, with Insight, since it largely manages our wireless access points and is really a good platform for that, I have kind of taken on a little bit more of a shine with wireless. And I've been part of our Pro Wi-Fi design team for, as long as they've had a Pro Wi-Fi design team. I don't remember when they put it in exactly, but they just said, "Hey, you guys are part of it," and kind of weird, like we were talking before about how I got into the engineering part of it. Initially, that was to bridge the divide between the sales and the technical aspects of putting the solution together, and now it's evolved to where I help do our remote site surveys and some of the other things as well that accompany that.